All right, guys, well, I'm back today with some very impressive shotgun furniture. Not only is it impressive, it's elegant and functional, and it's the Gladiator stock system from Woox, Woox. All of the information, if you like this system, at the end of the video will be in the description below. And a huge shout out to these guys for sending this over to the channel. I specifically requested the Mossberg 500 and 590 furniture because I have a lot of that platform. It's really become my go-to pump action shotgun. Now, one of the downfalls of some of those 500s and Maverick 88s and even some of the 590s is the furniture is very basic. Now, that's very nice for a rugged, robust, reliable pump action shotgun, but sometimes you want a little bit improved ergonomics, functionality, and let's be honest, looks. Woox comes out with some of the most functional and elegant furniture I've seen on a shotgun. Everything from their stock systems, grip options for the Shockwave style Mossbergs, as well as the forends with beautiful wood and functional M-LOK slots. Let's talk about this, its function down at the range, and how it's been holding up on this Mossberg 500 chambered in 20 gauge. The first thing I want to mention is the fact that these are made in Italy and they're crafted using American walnut. Just a beautiful, nice, rugged wood. They also have added texturing cut into the wood themselves for good grip. And in the front, they actually have M-LOK inserts, though they don't only just look good, but they're incredibly functional down at the range. They also have improved ergonomics and hand stops built in, but we'll talk about each of the pieces as we go through the review. Now, when it comes to compatibility, you are going to have to do just a slight amount of research. If you have a modern Mossberg, you're going to be able to order a certain version of the forend. If you have an older Mossberg, something from the early 90s, you're going to have to order a different forend. So you may have to measure that in advance, and I want to let you guys know because this one fit on some of my Mossbergs and it didn't fit on some other Mossbergs. But don't worry, they have two different versions, but I want to get that out of the way first. The stock system is going to fit on whatever version you have, and it's very easy to install with one adapter piece and then the stock itself with all of the included hardware inside the box. Now, they have a complete detailed list of compatibility over on their site so you can check it out. But the models for the Mossberg are going to be the Shockwave, the M88, which is the Maverick 88, the Mossberg 500, the 590, the 590A1, and switching to the Remington lineup, it's going to be compatible with the Remington 870 and the TAC 14. Just make sure you're selecting the correct furniture. With that out of the way, let's actually talk about the furniture itself. And before we get too far into it, I do want to give a huge shout out to Target Sports USA and their Ammo Plus membership for providing the 20 gauge ammo for this. I actually purchased it from them and they're a big sponsor of the channel. All of that info will be on the campsite page. But again, we ran a lot of 20 gauge through this shotgun because it was so fun to shoot with this new furniture. The forends are really cool because they've got a sloping taper and very nice texturing. It almost feels like stippling inside the wood itself. I'm not quite sure how they're accomplishing it, but they are, and it does a good job. Again, bringing looks and function all rolled into one. It's got very nice tapered and then rounded and sanded edges, and it's got a hand stop built into the back, making it incredibly easy to pump. And then it does have that hand stop up front, which is going to start coming in handy for things like the Shockwave and the TAC 14, because you don't want to overextend past the end of some of those shorter barrels. The M-LOK slots are nice, and they actually have inserts bolted into the wood itself. One thing I did notice was the hardware was a different tone than the wood itself. Now, I kind of like the look of that, but I could see some people wishing that the hardware was black. Just something to consider for in the future, so it kind of blends in. Now, the inserts themselves are rock solid and rugged and allow you that extra function if you wanted to attach lights, lasers, and things like that to the forend. So again, it's also very functional. Now, this was very easy to install, and it actually included the takedown tool for the nut on the pump slide itself to remove that, and it was incredibly simple. Installation probably took me 4 or 5 minutes, if that. And if I had done this before, it would have taken me even less time. This is actually the first time I've swapped out furniture, and it really only took me 5 minutes to do, so not that big of a deal. Again, just want to reiterate, make sure you're picking the correct size and slide. You may have to do some measurements before you order, but they have a detailed explanation on their site. Moving along to the rear into the stock itself, it mates up perfectly. Now you may notice some of this little gap right here. This is because this fits a 20 gauge and a 12 gauge. I personally selected the 20 gauge because all of my 12 gauges that were needing new furniture were actually older models, and the forend wouldn't fit those. We would have to order the slightly longer forend or the different forend for those older models. So I put it on the 20 gauge, and man, it made it up great. You do see this little spacing, so if you are putting it on a 20 gauge, be considerate of that, but it doesn't affect function, reliability, or ergonomics. Your hand remains on the grip itself, and you don't ever really feel that gap, and it works out perfectly. The best way to describe this would be kind of like a hybrid between something like a Magpul style stock with the retrograde look of the new Mossberg 500 retrograde. So I actually love the ergonomics of this. It kind of is a hybrid between a traditional stock and a vertical grip, and it's a little bit more controllable than a traditional stock, yet it still looks beautiful and elegant. It also tapers back very narrow, allowing your hand to fill that up nicely, and a slightly raised cheek well right here to either use the bead sights or attach that rail at the top to start using optics. It's also undercut right here, which is fairly nice, and then it gives you a nice rubberized butt pad with spacers in the back that I believe are removable. Now, the other cool thing is if you do have that TAC 14 or Shockwave, you do get this kind of bird's head style grip. Now, this grip right here is also very ergonomic. It fills up your hand nicely, has very good texturing, and it just looks and feels awesome. In summary, if you're looking to upgrade your shotgun, this is a good option for the entire setup at a reasonable price. You can get all of the pricing online, but a lot of this stuff, when you buy it in sets, you can save a little bit more money. But again, the details will be on the website, and you can check out all of the detailed specs and features that I may have glossed over or missed from this kind of overview video. Thanks for watching, and thanks again to Woox for sending this out to the channel for me to try, and thanks to Target Sports USA for sponsoring this video. Have a good one.